What's up, everyone? How's it going? And welcome to today's Midday Midday Monologue Monday. Midday Monologue Monday. Yeah, my energy is a little off right now. And some of you may have noticed that I didn't do a live playthrough last night. I did put a post up in the Two Gun Pixie community chat explaining why. My sister passed away. One of my sisters passed away. And so things have gotten a little crazy, and so I just really could not get myself in mindset to game last night. I'm not in the greatest mindset right now either, but I'm always honest with you guys, and to continue that truth, I need to do something different right now. I really do need to take a break for a little while and put these crazy emotions on hold. And it's not just because my sister passed, but this has been a really shitty year for me. 2024. First 3 months, three childhood friends of mine all passed, one after another. January, February, March. I was really hoping I was going to get through April without losing anyone. But yesterday I got the bad news about my sister Liz, who's my biggest fan. She really was. I'm gonna miss her. I miss her a lot. But I have to do something different. I got to get my head out of this for a little while. So I figured might as well keep the live comments. Might as well keep that for today. So let's take a look. And I already know there was like at least one that I already answered, I think. Starship Chiru Studios actually saw my post in the community area and sent their condolences. Thank you very much for that. It means a hell of a lot to me. Even more so that it's somebody that watches the show. It's not a friend or another family member. It's someone that watches the show that it means a lot to me. Thank you so much. But you also, Chiro Studio. I'm sorry, I don't got the voice for it right now. I love screaming your name out. I love the name that you have there, that Chiro Studios. I can't do it. I do it every time. You can hear my voice. My voice is a little rough, and so you all know why. So excuse me for not giving you your proper introduction, my friend. But for our slideshow gaming of ray guns and rocket ships, which has a couple little comments going back and forth there. Starship said, "Thank you for the video. I love the game pieces. They remind me of the plastic figures that my parents bought me when I was a kid. You could buy a bunch of these simple but colorful figures for very cheap at almost any store. I had hours of space adventures with them. I got a feeling that you're somewhere within my age category, maybe somewhere, because this 70s kid, this 1969 baby here, I remember bags of things like sci-fi kind of things, bags of the soldiers, bags of monsters. Maybe they were sci-fi, maybe they were fantasy. Cheaply produced. Usually especially around the 5 and dime stores, Woolworths, things like that. You could definitely find them. Nowadays, that would be the equivalent of the dollar store, right? Or 99-cent store, the equivalent of that. I remember those too. Yeah. Creating your own fun, your own adventures, using pure imagination. That's actually my favorite song. Let's see. Big Johnny G's How to Play Celtica by Ravensburger. This is by Bray Andromio. I feel like this is two names. You do one of those cool things where you take two names and they kind of, right? So, Braden Romeo, 1650 said, 10 out of 10 tutorial. Thank you so much for this. That also means a lot to me because one of the reasons I don't do many tutorials on this channel, at least anymore, is I usually don't feel like my tutorials are the best. And I feel like others are doing better tutorials on these games than I am. So I kind of feel like it's a waste of not just my time to film it, but your time. Why would you want to watch one of my videos when even I think someone else is better? But sometimes there's not a lot of good tutorials out on a particular title at all, or maybe there's no tutorials. So then I go and I do them. Or maybe it's just that I have so much fun with a game. I really want to tell someone how to play. That's another thing. So when somebody does remark, like on this one, 10 out of 10. Wow, thanks, man. Go to the Olympics with that. Slideshow Gaming says, I thought there's a few comments here for ray guns and rocket ships. And we have the Shogun Scene 6475. An old fan of the show. I don't mean he's old. I mean he's been with the channel pretty much since the beginning. He says, this is a beautiful production and very nice components. But good luck figuring out the rules. If you do figure out the rulebook, you should post a how-to type video because this is lacking for the game. It is strange to me how such a well-produced game by a big company would not have put more content on the web explaining how to play or have written a better rulebook. I picked this game up a few years ago in the rubbish bin at Amazon for less than $30, but ended up selling it because we just couldn't figure it out. I mean, we played this like 3 years ago. It was before COVID locked everything down here in the city, in New York City. We did play a game or two of it as like learning how to play, like just for us, learn how to play it so we can do more in the channel with it. I could do more in the channel with it. Yeah, I do remember it being a little bit back and forth, going back to the rule book, rereading something, getting down to the nitty gritty of specifically, okay, Ryan, could you reread that rule? Because we need to be specific on each and every word and how we define it here in the instructions. It was that kind of thing that we went through. But no, honestly, we haven't played it since, or tried to, since then. So we're going back a few years now. I'll take a look at it. I was literally just talking about how I don't make many tutorial videos except for this, that, and the other thing. And one of them was if there's no real how to play that's been put out there. So I guess I'm gonna have to follow my own word there, right? I'll take a look. I'll take a look and figure out the easiest way to just break it down. At least the easiest way I think to just break it down and present it here on the channel. All right, Shogunstein, thanks for the comment, brother, and thanks for sticking with us for as long as you have. Trey Techie says, are you posting gameplay of this game? If so, looking forward to it. Well, you kind of got some of the answer there from what I was just saying, the Shogunstein. So we haven't played it on the channel ever. As far as I recall, I'll take a look, but I don't think we did either live or back in the day. I did a couple of pre-recorded. I just got sick and tired of that. But no, I don't think we did. Now, if we're going to do it, of course, I advertise it. Now, if Trey Techie, if you or anyone else watching this doesn't realize, I do advertise every Monday. Every Monday morning about 6 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, in New York City time, I do put up on our Facebook page the schedule for the week. And that'll tell you what episode is coming out on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And so that obviously are live playthroughs. Now, sometimes the live playthroughs aren't the ones I want or I think that I have advertised, Sometimes I'll have something advertised, but then it changes. Usually it'll change if it's a two-player game, and because a lot of times people want to play, but they have trouble making it on Friday night. So things get changed up. But yeah, I do. And also on our Twitter, on the Two Gun Pixie Twitter, I also post the weekly schedule. And don't forget, at the beginning of every month, in fact, next Monday is the entire month preview. I don't think anyone else on YouTube does this. I don't think anyone else does either of those. I don't think anyone else on YouTube puts up a weekly schedule so you know what videos are coming out every day of the week. And I definitely don't think anybody puts something up monthly. And on top of that, don't forget, at the beginning of each season, I do a What's Up spring, summer, fall, winter, because this channel does maintain 3 months ahead of schedule. So I can I can tell you what we have recorded, edited, uploaded, waiting to go to be dropped right here. So yeah, keep track. We let you guys know everything, at least everything as far as we expect it to go. Thank you, Trey Tech. You've been around for a while. Always nice to hear from you. Pixie playthrough of Paper Dungeon Mazes. I've been having fun with this. It is fun. You need a quick little book game, really, that all you need is a pencil for, pretty much. And you know, hey, a good gamer always has dice on them. But yeah, Paper Dungeon Mazes. I think you're gonna like that. So I did a Pixie playthrough of that, and Jason Harris 1636 said, "Well done, mate. What are you doing with the treasure? Is there a way to spend it, or do you just see how much you collect? Thanks." Now, I almost gave you an answer. To this. I was about to tell you, oh yeah, after every several adventures, there's like a merchant dude, and you can spend your money on. The names, see, Paper App Dungeons, Paper Dungeon Mazes. There's a few games with these titles that are getting mixed up. But we're talking about this. And tell you the truth, I can't remember. I can't remember. Starship! Say you're 52, I'm 54. Yeah, we are very close in age. So we get our references. We've seen the same things growing up. All right, so if you open a treasure chest, add the number of gold indicated to your treasure in the top right of the page. I think it's just like collection. Unlike paper apps here, which you can do, buy things you can get healing potions with and things like that. Every about 5, I think it is. Every 5, the merchant shows up. Yeah, there's. I'm looking at this now because I'm thinking to myself, I don't recall what to do with the treasure. Maybe I don't recall what to do with the treasure because there's nothing here about what to do with it. Maybe the second one. There is a sequel to this. There is a 2, which I don't have. I didn't look into yet for no particular reason other than I have so much left in this. Maybe that has something in it. Possibly. So good question, Jason Harris. And, hey, man, I hope this doesn't sound tiring, but really, thank you so much for watching the channel and spending a little bit of your time here with us. I trust me, I know how much time means to each and every one of us. When I was a kid, I didn't get the Batman villain, the Clock King. The older I get, the more I understand him. Okay, going back to what was this last week? The Tuga and Pixie weekly the 2GP weekly YouTube guide. Monday, April 22nd to 28th. I usually don't get comments on these. A very little reason why I would, maybe, I guess. But Shogunstein, you decided you wanted to make a comment on it. Were you able to figure out the rules on ray guns and rocket ships? We could not. Also, very few online videos of how to play. We kind of already covered this a couple of comments ago when we were talking about the slideshow gaming of ray guns and rocket ships. But yes, we have played it before, but it's been like 4 years. I'm going to have to look at the rule books again. A rule book. There's only one. It's not a fantasy flight game. I have to take a look at that again, and maybe I'll see about working that into the time schedule for Two Gun Pixie of making a how-to play for it. I can't promise anything, but I'll take a look. I'll see about that. Starship making the comments. I really pronounce it Cairo. Many people always say Chiro. Cairo. Okay, I'm going to try to remember that. I've been saying Chiro for so long. Well, my voice is a little bit better next time. We'll see how Cairo sounds. Cairo, like Egypt, spelled differently. Sounds the same. Cairo. Okay. Trying to get that stuck in my head now. And it's kind of like the movie The House Bunny. She would say names in a funny way to remember them. Cairo. We'll see if that helps. Okay. Am I the asshole? Yes, I saw this comment sitting here since it got put there. No reason for me to get into it. I've gotten into it before in other videos. I'll mention it now to get it out of my system. But Kevin H. 9939 in my video, Am I the Asshole? Dungeons and Dragons Edition. Number 2. He said, no, but you are the asshole for using AI thumbnail. Downvoted and blocked. Last time I looked at this video 2 days ago, there was no downvote on it. Maybe if you block, it doesn't let you do things like upvote and downvote. That could be very possible. This individual who's blind to the future, the way things are going, may have given me a downvote, but then after blocking me, that got canceled because I'm blocked. So your downvote means nothing. Nothing, little man. But, ultimately, it's really hard for me to hear the clank and clutter of your horse and buggy over the roar of my automobile. Because if you're against the use of AI art, you're on the losing end of history. Yeah, you are the horse and buggy company trying to fight the automobile. You're going to go down. I understand everyone picks a hill to die on. But you're going to die on that hill really fast. Because this is speeding up. It's getting better. My God, what I've seen from Sora already is amazing. But I mean, a lot of these art programs and these the chat GTPs are getting ready to come out, roll out with the newest systems on them. So of course, before the year is out, Sora's going to look old and tired. So I'll make you a deal. In fact, anyone out there that does art by hand, I'll make you a deal. I will use your artwork over AI for thumbnails, just to be present in a video, on one condition. Well, I guess 2 conditions. One, I have to like it and find it appropriate. Okay? Start with that. The other one is it's got to be done for free. And you have to be willing to redo it as many times as I tell you this is not right. Because that's what I get from AI art. It will just keep doing it as I keep telling it it's wrong and making adjustments here and there. And it does it all for free. So once I find the human artist that will do that for me, I have absolutely no problem whatsoever pushing them, their art, their style, their work. Only once in my life have I ever found anyone like that. And he doesn't do art anymore. So, I'm doing AI. I'm sure. What's this guy's name again? I already forgot. Kevin H. Oh, well, typical common name. And I forgot that. Kevin, it doesn't matter. You can hate me all you want. You're dying on that hill. It's a very small hill. The opponent's going to get up there really fast. So, you should maybe look up the history of General Custard. Custer, not custard. He's not a dessert. Well, yeah, he was kind of a dessert. Anyway, so that was for Am I the Asshole? Dungeons and Dragons Edition. Actually, you know what? And I'll tell you the truth here. I do use AI art. I've started incorporating some of it into some of the upcoming Monday and Tuesday episodes that I do. Not a hell of a lot. I'm not going overboard with it. I primarily use it incorporated in with the Giacomo poems on Friday and Sundays. I use it exclusively, actually, for that. And I'll tell you the truth here. I didn't even think, it didn't occur to me because it didn't matter whether that thumbnail was AI generated or not, because I didn't generate that. I would love to say I generated that. That would be great if I could say I created that image in my mind and AI helped me bring it to life. But I saw it. I just did a blind Google search. I think it was for cocky devil or something like that. And that came up. And I said, all right, I'm stealing it. So that's what I did. I put in Power Director. I added what I needed to add in it. So if that's AI, I didn't even know. But I do use AI. I don't care. Am I changing this? Yes, I am. But I'm creating an AI image myself. We've done two Am I the Assholes already. I did one, then I did one with Ron. And again, we got, I'm doing a solo one again. And then we got one coming up. The next one coming up, I think, is going to be Kyle. I think that's the one that's in the order next. So for those two, I'm going to have a different thumbnail. The one idea I'm keeping is the solo thumbnail to the thumbnail with Ron. It was the same thumbnail, but I had the demon or the devil just facing in a different direction. And I'm going to do the same thing. But the solo Am I the Asshole I Do will be one image facing in one direction. And then the next episode that I do with one of the 20-sided warriors, it's going to be the same image, just flipped. So you'll be able to basically tell two episodes at a time. I don't know. I kind of like that. I think it's my thing. It's quite cool. So maybe I'll change the idea later on down the road. But right now, that's the way I'm doing it. And yeah. So if you don't like AI art, I'm sorry. If you think it's stealing work from people, it is. Anyone that says otherwise, even if they're trying to stand up for AI art, is wrong. It is stealing work from people. But stealing work from people that are going to charge you. That's what it comes down to. For everyone, even the big companies. And that's why they're going to be slowly using more and more AI art, regardless of what the acting unions say about it. It's the way of the future. So you might as well jump on it now. Think about all the people that never started a YouTube channel until after YouTube became big, and then they try to become big on YouTube. You're chasing a dragon that's already flown away and out of your grasp. It's not going to work. So just get with it or shut up. Do I feel bad for all the families, all the parents that spent tens of thousands of dollars, hundreds of thousands? I don't know what these art schools charge. I don't. Because I don't feel bad for the horse and buggy companies that went out of business because of the automobile. Chiru, am I talking too much? I mean, Cairo. Am I talking too much here? I got it from the old Christian symbol that was reportedly used by the Roman Emperor Constantine in the early 4th century. The symbol he saw in the sky before the battle, where he got the message that if he fought under that symbol, under the symbol, therefore fighting under the Christian God, that he would win. Oh, yeah, okay. All right. I think I know what you're talking about there. All right, I think, and I also think you putting that comment in, though you had nothing to do with it, you weren't thinking it, it's a good break right now for me to get off my high horse about AI art. But on the same Am I the Asshole, we had Blake Rose 6619 come in and said, you guys, talking about me and Ron, you guys have a personable manner in covering RPG horror stories. When I'm doing something else, I may listen to those funny Avatar ones, not paying attention mostly. I'm not 100% sure I get that. Okay, I like the fact that he says we have a personable manner in covering RPG horror stories. Thank you very much. That's very cool. Nice statement to make. When I'm doing something else, I may listen to those funny Avatar ones, not paying attention mostly. But you want us on in the background. Is that what I'm getting? Is that what I didn't get when I first read it? That's cool. There's a lot of things I put on in the background while I'm working. I'm a house husband, which is probably why I have time to do all these videos. Because in between taking care of two old, broken dogs with back problems, taking care of the apartment and everything, I often have something on in the background. With me, it's usually more of the UAP coverage shows and and channels. But yeah, I do that. I put something on in the background that I like, voices that I enjoy hearing on topics that I know something about or want to learn something about, or just maybe it's an episode I've seen already, so I know what they're talking about, so I know I'm not missing anything, but I can have it on the background to remind me of things that they were talking about when I watched it a week or two ago. I got you, Blake Rose. I got you. Midday Monologue, speaking of UAPs, whether you believe them or not. Speaking of UAPs, Midday Monologue Monday, board game UFOs, where I started talking about, well, because UFOs, UAPs, flying saucers, Foo Fighters, whatever it is that you still call them, is very hot right now. Not in the mainstream media, but everywhere else. It's also a very hot topic in Congress right now, whether you think it's a waste of time or not. It seems to be a fact that there are things flying around. We don't know what they are, whether they're alien, extra-dimensional, Russian, Chinese. The point is we don't know, but there's something there. But on the more fun way of thinking, board games on UFOs. Yeah, so I'm just talking about games that are out there, as well as a few ideas I had for UFO, UAP-based board games. And Shogunstein, 6475, said Hulu has new episodes of Skinwalker Ranch. I didn't see anything on Hulu. Is that last season's? Because History Channel just dropped the first episode of season, I'll say it's 5. I'll say it's 5, the new one. Just dropped the first episode this past Wednesday, which I saw. It was a good episode. Wasn't that strong. You want my personal opinion on this? I got a lot of them. Too much time. I'd have to do a whole video just on that. But one thing, off the top of my head, one thing that's been occurring to me for years is in the Triangle area, they need some sort of hot air balloon or dirigible is what they need. It's with a floating platform. And the reason I say a hot air balloon or dirigible is because this way it doesn't have any electronics in it. You know, they put up drones and rockets, and the electronics in them fail so often. But if it's just a helium or hot air device, you can float it up there with all the equipment you need. You can float it up to that 300-foot mark, 1,000-foot mark, and have constant readings there at all times. I wish they would do something like that. Oh, and the other thing, and then I'll move on so I don't turn this into a UAP show. They need to just dig that goddamn ridge. They just need to get in there and dig a freaking hole the size of a 4-way car tunnel lane through a tunnel. Tunnel lane through a tunnel. That's what they need to freaking do. There's something in there. That's how you're going to find it. Everything else is BS. Everything else is for ratings. All right. There you go, Shogunstein. Also, more Shogunstein, more Shogunstein, more Shogunstein. He's all over the place. All right, so for Slide Starship, you got it, man. For Slideshow Gaming, Oregon Trail. Shogunstein, I saw a bigger board game version of it at Target a while back, but I'd rather play in my old Commodore 64, which was an improvement from the VIC-20s we had as computers in our classes in Levittown. I don't think I ever got a chance to work the VIC-20. I remember this Texas Instruments home computer that an old buddy of mine, Nigel, bought, and its printer was no bigger than receipt paper. I remember that. But I had the Commodore 64. Love the Commodore 64. Love it. God, I've seen a couple of collections. You know those things like where it's all collected in the joystick, and you just plug it right into the TV. But I swear, it's none of the games on Commodore 64 I remember playing and loving. I want Wasteland. I want the SSI, Dungeons and Dragons, or just TSR. Like I said, the Buck Rogers game too. The TSR SSI games. That's what I want in my Commodore 64 simulator. Not barnstorming. Yeah, it was great. It was great. An Oregon Trail, man. So I know you're talking about Shogunstein. Yes, there is a bigger box version, not made by Pressman Games. I'm not sure who it is. Is it Funko or Ravensburger? My guess off the top of my head, it sounds like one of those two companies might do it. But yes, this one I was talking about is the smaller one by Pressman Games. And so I like it. Overall, I think for most people, they would find it at best a so-so game. But I think I have a tabletop to take out where I explain what it is, the points about it that I actually do like, that to me make it better than just a so-so game. But yeah, there is a larger game. I've looked at it, not looked about it. You know what I mean? I've seen it, but I haven't looked into it. But you're right. You're right. It is out. Didn't know it was a Target one. Maybe it's a Target exclusive. They have a few Target exclusive games, or at least a Target exclusive edition. They also do a lot of those. Now you maybe want to look into it, Shogunstein. Great. Does it look like I need to look into more board games? My wife will be talking to you about this. And also on the same subject, he added in, he piped in, because you can't forget that when you talk about Argonne Trail, you can't forget about old school dysentery. Sounds like a line from a game show. Jack, what would be old school dysentery? More Shogunstein. Tell me how you really feel about the channel, Shogunstein. For a gaming radar of really loud librarians. It sounds like something from Hysteria. Remember that cartoon? Really loud librarians. And this is that is a Exploding Kitties game. Exploding Kittens game. It's not part of Exploding Kittens. I mean, it's the same company. And Shogunstein said, I flunked out of librarian school at CUNY Queens. Wasn't on the shelf for you. Just wasn't on the shelf for you, was it? You know, I never took anything as far as librarian stuff goes. And I don't know. Obviously, I only have one experience, right? My experience to fall back on. I went to parochial school here in Manhattan in the 70s. So I don't know what other schools did, but I know parochial schools back then, they taught us the Dewey Decimal System. And although I don't remember it now, I do have a very strong feeling that if I looked at it for 5 minutes less, it would all come back to me. But I also remember as a kid going through the library, using the Dewey Decimal System, just thinking about how awesome of a freaking system it is and why it wasn't used in more places than the library. As you can tell, I like order. It helps, especially when you got shit, right? All right, Doxy Dash. I know I'm always bad with answering personally. I know I'm always bad about that. This is definitely one I gotta get on. I'll do that as soon as we finish this video. I got to get on and talk to this person. Doxy Dash Unboxing. And this is an old one. That wasn't even dating the videos back then. I was just numbering them. So this was number 150. And this comment is from 2 weeks ago, and that is from KS725. It says, do you still have a copy of Doxy Dash? And would you be willing to sell? Can't seem to find any copies on sale anywhere. Yes. KS, I do still have a copy of that. Actually, that's a bit of a lie. My wife has a copy of that game. And giving particularly her love of Dachshunds, our own too, and I'm assuming you must have some sort of love of Dachshunds, perhaps also a Doxy owner, or know someone that you would love to gift it to. That's what we're sitting at here. We're on the same hill as you. So I'm sorry to say it's not going to be sold. It is proudly in our collection as one of the few. I think there's a couple. I think I found 2 or 3. Now I want to look it up again. But yeah, one of the few Dachshund board games or dog board games that have Dachshunds in them. So sorry. Thank you for asking. I wish you a lot of luck, my friend, in hunting it down for yourself or whoever it is you wish to gift this to. But we're not selling. I'm sorry. But thank you for watching the video. And I hope my answer did not turn you off on Two Gun Pixie. All right, Kiro. Tabletop, take out Firefly Adventure Brigands and Browncoats. You had to say this. Thank you for the review. I love anything related to Firefly. It is fun. Joss Whedon. Joss Whedon is about having fun. No matter what story he's telling, there's always going to be a certain level of fun in that story, in that series, in that movie, which is something we all enjoy. I really do. I think that is one of the things that really kind of pull us towards his works. So yeah, I know. What are they going to do? There's always been a rumor that they're going to go back to it, but after the movie, they can't go back to it. Unless they do something in between, but that doesn't work. None of that works. No, it doesn't. It doesn't work. Rebooting it is the only thing that works. But that upsets so many people. The idea that Nathan Fillion isn't going to be Captain Mao, or Tydek's not going to be back. No, people can't handle that. People can't handle that. So we're in a very weird spot. Maybe we have to just wait a little longer. Maybe it's something you have to wait like maybe another 10 years for. Sometimes if you wait long enough, it does seem okay. make a remake of something. So I feel you on that. I feel you on that. Kiro. See, it's gonna take me a while to get used to that. I've said that wrong for so long. Midday, and we find our way back, my friends, through time without a TARDIS. Find ourselves back for comments going all the way back a month ago to, oh no, this isn't. I read that wrong. I'm telling you, I'm tired. Read that wrong. No. This is Midday Monologue for the Shelf of Shame viewers poll. Which, I mean, I guess at this point, it's been almost a month. The pool. Yeah, we're going to close the pool. The poll will be over. And now this month, I have, and I wanted to say this like 35 minutes ago near the top of the video. This whole month of May, if you've seen my my weekly Monday drop for the schedule, or if you tune in next week for the monthly schedule instead of the weekly schedule that just dropped every Monday, you're going to see that I think there's one exception right at the beginning. The first day of May, I think, is an exception. That's an unboxing day. It's a Wednesday. The rest of the entirety of May is all dedicated to 20-sided dice. No, it's all dedicated to Dungeons and Dragons. I think every video except one that's up is all going to be D&D related. So I'm not going to have time to get to the Shelf of Shame poll, because I believe the winner was Winter Games. That's all the way down the bottom shelf. I'm not going to grab it. Winter Tale. Winter Tale, I think, is the winner. And so I'm going to grab a couple of the 20-sided warriors together. Now, a game like that, I hope to have an odd number of players. Because, really quick, in a nutshell, the game is this really dark, twisted version of fairy tale characters. And they're in this war between the spring court and the winter court. And the winter court is in control, so everything is winter and cold and gray and dead. And the spring faction wants to break that hold. So it's a team game. But if you have an odd number of players, that the fifth or seventh player, that odd guy or girl out, they don't have a side. They're like the story writer, the narrator, and they just want to keep the story interesting, keep the story going. They're not in it to change it necessarily one way or the other. I think that's really interesting. I would like to be the odd number player in that, at least the first time to try it out. So that's going to have to wait. That's not going to be until June because of the timing of all this and what I want to do with May and dedicate to May. And for a quick preview of an answer, if you're curious why I decided May, why May? May has no holding, no standing of any place in historical reference that I can think of for the Gygax family, publicly known anyway, for chainmail, for Dungeons and Dragons, for TSR, for Dave Arnton, his family, his input. No, as far as I know, May has no significance to any of this. So you may be asking yourself, why is Big Johnny G decided out of the blue? Did he just roll the die? That sounds very D&D. You just roll a 12-sided die and 5 came up. That's actually that's not a bad idea. I could have done that. But no, I didn't do that because May is my birthday month. And this being my favorite game, this is the first game that I ever got hooked on. Getting past childhood teaching games like Chutes and Ladders and things like that. Getting past that into slightly more advanced games and more advanced Dungeons and Dragons. 77 when I was 8 years old. Boom, never looked back since. So that's why May, for me, and here in Two Gun Pixie, it's all about Dungeons and Dragons. So that's why the viewer poll will have to wait. Now, as far as the comments, we got 3 from Shogunstein. RM Clean, we've seen you before. He's been here before. Thank you for returning. And Thorenbane. I think that sounds familiar. Well, if it's not, welcome. Welcome to the party. If it is, welcome back, brother. Thornbane said, since I got married to someone whose family only plays cards and the odd game of life, I have a huge shelf of shame for my days when I had friends. Come on, you still got friends. You got me. I'm sure you got others in the comment section here. And other places you leave comments. You got friends. You got friends. I see what you mean, though. You mean you don't got your gaming group. That sucks, man. It does. As someone that's been, I've probably been DMing since I was 9 or 10, right? And I've had a lot of different gaming groups, whether RPG, D&D, TSR gaming groups, or board games, which is usually the same people. There's been a lot of changes. People move, people get jobs, people get families, people get new interests. It happens. So I've had to put together new groups from time to time over the years. So Thornbane, what's up, man? Where are you at? Maybe there's a community Facebook page that you can get on, and you can say, "Hey, man, look at these cool games, man. I got cool games. I love to play games, man. Look, I got games. Man. You want to play? Come on. What do you like? You like Descent? You like Ghostbusters? You like Marvel? What is it? Why you like D&D? Come on." More or less, to one degree or another, that's what I've done. Also, is there a local gaming store? Is there a hobby gaming store near you? So back in 2009, we had an apartment fire here. We lost everything. We were displaced for a year before everything got rebuilt. We moved back in. And so for that time, I was spending it at my local gaming store. They had a downstairs basement area where you could game. Now, I know not every gaming store has a gaming area, but they have gamers. Physically, that's where gamers congregate. If you're looking for an in-person game, which is always my preference, I love the energy, the atmosphere, the body language, the talking over and on top of each other, especially in times of excitement during the game. I love that, man. I love that. If you enjoy that and that's what you're looking for, then those, I think, are two good options I'm giving you right there. Go on social media sites, like does your city, does your neighborhood have a Facebook page or some other social media page? And do you have a gaming store you can go to? I mean, come on. Games, I've always found, make friendships. Great way to break the ice. It's the same reason that I walk around the neighborhood with my gaming shirts and Dungeons and Dragons hats. For the same reason that my friend will walk around the neighborhood, in his Giants jersey. Because someone that connects with that sees that. They go, "Hey, what's up? What's up?" And it breaks silence. If you're a gamer looking for other gamers, someone says, "Hey, man," they see you wearing a Hero Quest shirt. They go, "Hey, Hero Quest. I haven't played that in years." You go, "Hey, man, they re-released it." Yeah, it's huge now. They got tons of stuff for it. Woo! Let me know if you want a game. Always looking for gamers, man. You'll be surprised. Especially in like my age category. If you're in your late 40s, your 50s, think about it this way. A lot of your friends, maybe their kids have moved out of the house now and they're starting to get more free time. Maybe they're getting ready to retire and they got more free time. So maybe a weekly or a monthly, tabletop gaming night might be on the agenda for them again. And the last thing I want to say, as someone who is married, I'm going to say but married into a similar situation as you, Thornbane. My wife was not a gamer when I met her. I mean, she played some traditional board games. She was familiar with the traditional ones, Clue, Monopoly, the standards. As far as the more specific games, the designer games, the Kickstarter games, she really didn't know anything about it. And she's still not a great gamer, which is why there's so few videos of her gaming with me. Because even the few games that she does like, there's sometimes something she'd rather spend her time doing. And with me, and I'm getting the feeling, Thornbane, same with you, It's the exact opposite. I'd rather be gaming first than something else. So if I had the choice to game, I would game. She would have the choice to do something else other than game. She may go for that other choice. But, try something small, something fun, a quick little game, like maybe Dungeon Mayhem, the Dungeons and Dragons game, Dungeon Mayhem, or the Marvel version of it. Maybe, hey, does your wife like the Marvel movies? If she got into the action-packed Marvel movies, then maybe something like that, because that's a really quick game. It's super easy to learn. It just uses some basic iconography, some symbols on each card, and you don't even have to memorize them. They have cool little cheat cards, smaller than this. It has all the information on it, and it's written. It's not. You don't need a magnifying glass. It's not that tiny. It's easily to read. So something like that might be something. Also sometimes people that aren't gamers, they get into take that style games. I've noticed non-gamers do have fun with those things. Like when, there are people I know that like Munchkin style games but aren't gamers because they get to screw over other people at the table. And the amount of people that have surprised me that actually are fans of why am I drawing a blank now? Live. Oh, I hate drawing a blank live, don't you? Of the bigger, blacker box. It's not even here on the shelf for me to look at. It's in the other room. Cards Against Humanity. God, wow, that took me so long to dig that out of my head. There are people that I would never have guessed would be fans of Cards Against Humanity that are. And I think that's the same reason why people that aren't gamers I know will enjoy a take that style game like Munchkin. Because there, at the table, in the name of fun, with just you and your close friends or family, you get to say something mean. You get to do something mean to somebody. And it's okay. Because it's a game that we all sat down at and we agreed beforehand that this game is okay for us to play. We all know what it does. We know what these lines are. We know what to expect. That's cool. But yeah, a lot of people that I would never have expected to be to be into those mean games, they are. So I think it's a release. I think that gives them a release. So just prod a little bit. You have a way to get new gamer friends. I've given you some good ideas, some good advice. And I've given you some good ideas to maybe help get the wife and her family into a little more gaming. I don't know much about you, Thornbane. You in New York? Are you in NYC? If you are, maybe I can make room for you if you need to game every once in a while. I understand you probably wouldn't have a time for, to dedicate to like an RPG, but the odd board game here and there, yeah. If you're in New York City, contact me. Why not? You sound like you need it, brother. Shogun's seen had 3 comments on the Shelf of Shame video. Fool's Gold is my longest Shelf of Shame game due to player count of 3. I know you do a lot of the gaming with your son. Are you in the same position? Your wife not much of a gamer, huh? Well, I feel like I'm just going to repeat the same things literally I just said, Shogunstein. Try to put out an ad. See if you can get a monthly thing going. That's not a lot of pressure, once a month. And it doesn't even have to be a set date because that puts pressure on people. Just like, hey, man, we'll talk about next month. We'll DM each other. We'll text each other. We'll see what day works. Once a month usually isn't a lot of pressure for most people. I wish you luck on getting some of those games off the Shelf of Shame, Shogunstein. Who also said, tin boxes throw me off. Never a good sign. I'm not sure if I agree with you. There's been a few tin box games that I've gotten that I felt kind of could have been better, maybe. But then again, I look at something like Forbidden Island. I think that's a great game, and that's in a tin box. So is Forbidden Desert, which drives my wife likes island, but she doesn't like desert. She finds the building sandstorms and sand dunes is just a little bit too much pressure for her. But the sinking island, in the first one, Forbidden Island, she's okay with. Forbidden Sky, the third one, comes in an actual box. I always wondered why they did that. Maybe was it the size? I can't think of any other reason. But yeah, so there's also Forbidden Jungle that's out now too. A Jungle on a Foreign Planet. that you crash land on, and that looks like that's in a tin also. So there are some good winners, I think, in tin. Come on, Shogun, see, what's your problem with Forbidden Island? I'll defend that game. In fact, I got to put it on my list to play again soon. And I've said this before, but now that I know that Forbidden Jungle is out and it's on my list to get, I think I'm going to do a story. And I've said I was going to do it before. I think I'm going to do it now that the fourth game is out, where like one Pixie playthrough I do Island, the next one I do Desert, the next one I do Sky, and then I'll do Jungle. We should do that, right? Yeah, that'd be fun. String them all together. All right, too many games, not enough time, Shogunstein says. Wow, who the hell are you talking to, Shogunstein? Of course I know that. But yeah, that is probably, I think, one of the main reasons for Shelf of Shames to come into existence. The amount of games you have, the amount of time, and it's not just your time. It's not whether you have the time or not. Unless you're talking about a solo play game. It's not about you. It's about, does the gang, does the group, do your players, does your family have time to all get together on Wednesday, Friday, Saturday, whatever the hell night? On the same night? Not some of them on this Wednesday and some of them on next Wednesday. It's tough. That's the number one problem with D&D. That's the thing that's been driving me crazy about D&D ever since, I guess my 30s. I think it was around my 30s is when the D&D groups, with a couple of earlier exceptions, that's really when the D&D groups were started falling apart and having a really hard time getting together, which coincides with the time where people are starting to get, really serious, going from jobs to careers, and coincides with marriages. And what can I say? That's life. Life just happens. But you live old enough to get enough gray hair. Your friends' kids move out. They get retired. And hopefully you get a group back. And between then, you just search for groups. You just search for groups between then. Just hope you can get at least 3 people. At least 3. Maybe 4 if you're lucky. But you'll sell for 3, won't you? R.M. Clean, or Ryan McLean, R. McLean, 101. Personally, I'd be most likely to play Mystic Wood. Wintertail looks great, but I rarely play with more than 2. Revolver sounds great. Depends on who's in the group. So you have the same problem as Shogun's thing, the same problem I fall into in between set game days, which aren't as set as I want them to be. But so yeah, that was your vote for Mystic Wood. That's a good one. If one of them could play solo, I would. Maybe I could play Mystic Wood as a solo kind of tutorial. Do it solo, but do it as solo as a playthrough. Maybe use Fu Manchu as a second character that I play against. We'll see. Maybe I could do that. What's the matter, Shogunstein? So for What's in the Pixies box, which I did on the 3rd of April, so we are getting right back to last month. What's in the Pixies box? Derek Huang Productions. Okay. I was running late on filming, and I just didn't want to be bothered. So I just shot. Because I figured it's just an intro. I'm only going to be on camera for 1 minute. And here you are, picking on me because of it, Shogunstein. Shogunstein said, tank tops are for Tuesdays. I just have my black tank top on. I was too lazy to be bothered. That's all it is. Full honesty with you, my friends. Full honesty. I was tired. I was running late. I think I'd done 4 or 5 videos that day already. I was just like, I'm good. It's okay. And there you are. There you are with your 2 cents, huh, Shogunstein? Kiro Studios. Not perfect. My voice is getting a little bit better. Kiro Studios. What happened here? Where did everything go? I hit the screen. There we go. So for They Come Unseen, which is featured on a Tabletop Takeout Tuesday at the beginning of the month, it says, thank you for the review of this game. Can you do a playthrough sometimes? This game has been played a grand total of 5 times here over about the last 6 years. It is a great game. I do love it. It is really fun. We should play a game of it online. I think like 4 or 5 years ago when we did a couple of the playthroughs, I wasn't happy with the camera setup and angles and the table shots and everything. That's what I kind of vaguely remember. And I was just like, this isn't gonna work. This isn't gonna work. But I'm shooting differently now. And I've learned a bit about shooting and camera angles. I mean, not a lot. I'm not a cinematographer. But for somebody that came into this knowledge-wise as a nobody, yeah, I got a couple of things. Maybe it is time. Maybe we can do this. Take another look at the rule book again and set it down. I know that Rob didn't get a chance to play this during those times, and he's mentioned that he does want to play this. And I'm imagining he's going to play them with the Russian side because that's his heritage. But we'll see. Who knows? Maybe he want to be the UN. We'll see. I say we'll see a lot, don't I? We'll see. But yes, yeah. So let me do a test run and see how happy I am with it. Because and the reason, the main thing I say that is because each player. I'm getting ready to read to you. Yes, because each player has their own little screen area. So obviously there's nothing for the other player I want to film if I'm playing. But you see, now here's the other thing. I could just get 2 of them and I film them and not play. I played the game before. I'm good. I can pass. I have the experience under my belt. Maybe I could do that. Yeah, maybe. Okay, Kiro. I'll check that out. Tabletop Takeout. Yes, this is yeah, this is going back a little bit now. We're going back. So that was pretty much it. And so after this, we're back to last month's comment on a video from December. Tabletop Takeout. 1219, Fallen Land, post-apocalyptic board game by Fallen Dominion Studios. Oh, yeah. Dreader, Dreader, Dreader 1962. I'm assuming that may be a birth year, a few years earlier than mine. I think I'm about the same age as you. I agree that Fallen Land reminds me of the greats from the 80s. 2 come to mind that were tabletop role-playing games. The Morrow Project and Twilight 2000. Each card in this is its own scenario. And one reason for the time per player is so high is that, to get the full effect, you really need to read all the flavor text. Appropriate background music would also add to the experience. I backed the second Kickstarter and have no regrets. I'm glad you don't have any regrets because Fallen Land is an amazing freaking game. First of all, anyone that likes sandbox games, I love sandbox games. These games where there's so many different options of what you can do to score whatever they're called, victory points, prestige points, legendary points, whatever the game calls them. You have all these different paths to victory, so many different places you can go and experience during a game session on the tabletop. On the board game. I get so excited on the board. It is one of my all-time favorites. It really is. I'm so glad that I know they had problems with that second Kickstarter. I was following most of it, and I'm so glad that John and Sean, finally got it out. They have an amazing product. And on a side note, for anyone that doesn't know the game, and it's a fun little note all of us that have the game know, they put themselves and several of the other designers in the game. I did do a live playthrough once with the first edition a few years ago, specifically just using John, Sean, and the artists and everyone that they had put into the game as the away team. They died in like the first encounter. Yeah, I should redo that. that was fun. It was fun. So Dreader, 1962, you are absolutely 100% correct where you are. Now, Morrow Project does not sound familiar to me, but I think I played Twilight 2000. I think I played that in the 80s, like late 80s. Like, yeah, not the 90s. So, both times in 2000 when Wizards of the Coast took things over, but also originally with TSR, I was a member of the RPG Association. I happily signed up, paid my fee and everything to get that newsletter, and part of that reason was to find more gamers, because around high school time was the first time I had to change gamers and get new ones at the table. And I was using that to try to find people. And I can't remember who this kid was, but there was a kid that lived. Now, I live all the way up in the northern tip of Manhattan Island, as far as you can get. And this kid lived off of Central Park. He lived off of Central Park West. Expensive place. So he gets in touch with me. We're talking, and he invites me one day to come over to his place. We'll do some gaming. So I go over, and he wants to run. Now, this is the problem. This is the first time I realized this problem. When you're a DM and you're looking for players, you shouldn't hook up with another DM. Because that's what this kid was. This kid was a GM, DM, storyteller guy, and he wanted to run, and I'm pretty sure it was Twilight 2000. And, which isn't what I wanted to do, but I sat there with him, and I went through it with him. And I wasn't impressed. But I think it was his presentation. Now, if this is the game I'm thinking about, the first thing I got to say is character creation took too freaking long. This got into like so many minutia of details. But you see, in hindsight now, having played other similar games, especially, and this is going to be an odd one for anyone to follow me on this reference, the Ralph Bakshi Wizards role-playing game has a very similar setup, the way it does its skill-based game. Now, a lot of games do skill-based, I know. But the way the game I'm thinking of, which I think is Twilight 2000, it was like the amount of time we spent to figure out like how I think it was how I was getting my skill set. Like we figured out like where my character was born, my character's nationality, race, where my character went to school, where my character went to college, where my character got military training, and each category was like a little module you'd plug in a sense, of skills and abilities that you would have gotten doing that, but you have to choose how much. Just like a skill set in 3.5 or above with D&D. Well, I know second edition had skills too. I hated the skill set in second edition. But just like that, you have to choose what your priorities are, what you're going to put the skills in, what you aren't going to put the skills in, and how much. And it took so freaking long. And by the time we finished, the character. Now this is less memory and more memory emotion. I'm not really remembering the scene as much as the emotion. And my emotion of this was totally let down. The way the character turned out compared to the way I thought it was building by all the questions he was asking me, and what I wanted to fill in here and there for this and that, just did not turn out the way I thought it was going to. And also everything that I was doing to acquire all these skills before we start the adventure and fleshing out my character. And I think my character was like almost 60 by the time he was going to start adventuring. I think the reason I don't remember who this kid is because I never went back there again. I never talked to him again. I don't remember ever having a second session with this kid. No. Yeah, I learned my lesson that time. If you want to DM people, don't answer other DMs' comments, texts, or nowadays, DMs. You're going to bump heads. All right. Big Giant G's How to Play Hero Quest 2021 edition. And this is from almost 2 years ago. We got a comment on this from Jim Shermer, 9948. It says, so I want to play, and I did reply to this to him already. I think I talked about this last month when I did this video. So this will probably be the end of it then. So when a player finds a trap, does the GM place the token at the time to mark the spot? And as I said, yes, when playing with a GM, the traps are not pulled out until either sprung or the party searches for the traps. There's a double-sided token, one with a side for Zargon and the other with a side for Mentor. Use the Zargon side of the token to show where a trap is when the search for traps is activated to show the party where the trap is. If they stumble into the trap isn't revealed until they stumble into it. All right, there you go, Jim. I hope that helped. I've been getting a lot of play on the Hero Quest How to Play. It's my #1 video. It's at almost 10,000 views. I just wish like half of the people that say they love it so much would hit a subscribe. That'd be really awesome. We are sitting at 1,555, 56 subscribers right now. So thank you so much. It's amazing. I can't believe that from the beginning of the year to now, we've gotten 500 subscribers. It took me a couple of years to go from 1,000 to breaking into 500. It took me years. And we've had so many subscribers in the last 4 months already. It's great. Thank you so much. Thank you. Since there doesn't seem to be any more questions or chats happening, Starship, did I see this one before? AI is becoming better, but I think there will always be people who will want human-generated art. If you want to use AI art for your website, go ahead, he says. It's not a big problem with me. That is exactly how more people should feel about it. There will always be individuals who will want the man-made human touch. Even I will. But as far as having to get things made, when it's free and it looks as good and sometimes better, that's what I'm going to go for. Thank you for supporting my thought. It's not a very popular thought these days about AI art when you're a fan of it like me. So thank you so much. And thank you all for this distraction. It has been it's been a rough overnight for me, learning what I've learned, especially on top of the last 3 months already. So hopefully things can get better. Hopefully, and I hope and I pray, I wish that I'll be able to get through May without the death of someone I know, love, care about. Thank you for helping me take a few minutes to do something other than mourn. That meant a lot to me. Thank you so much, my friends. I'm your buddy Big Johnny G. The Two Gun Picture presents Legendary Gaming, and I am